Hello everybody and welcome back to our AC Shadows playthrough. Last time we learned that um Issei Sadauki, aka the Fool, has no interest in turning his back on his order. So yeah. Today we're gonna get some help taking him down, specifically looking for a samurai named Ujimasa. Oh, alright. Sorry, I'm just like super annoyed because I hate the fact that it's never, ever freaking daytime. It's finally daytime. And what is it when it's daytime? It's cloudy and it's rainy, so you hardly notice the daytime sometimes. Like, you barely see any actual sunshine most of the time. And unless you're in like Kujikiri memory. And it's really annoying. Like, seriously, game. It can't be that hard to have actual, like, daytime. And there's also apparently in future quests, you have to wait for it to be daytime or nighttime to do stuff. And that's always just really annoying, having to sit around and wait for it. Like, what the fudge? Like, there's no point in doing that content then if you have to wait for it. Whereas if you just fast forward day or night, boom, done. Go ahead. You can do it. Or even have like a place where you can sit and wait for that content to be able to be unlocked if it's day night. But it really feels like they did that to make stealth more challenging. And in an effort to make stealth more challenging, they stripped out a feature to make stealth more challenging and didn't notice the massive cables running to other things like exploration or quests, which is really annoying. Alright, let's talk with Ujimasa. I've belly ached enough.
Tell me about the water streams.
The water is renowned for its purity. Each stream here is said to bless any who drink from it. One stream brings love, another success. The last, longevity. Yes, that's it. But choose carefully. You can only drink once. The greedy will receive nothing.
Love, not Naoe style. Longevity, probably also not her style. Success.
Success. For us all to live in peace and for the cycle of loss to end.
A monk wouldn't have just bowed. They would have mentioned that the cycle of loss is natural. Or something along those lines.
You chose well. Kangong bless you.
Thank you, Ujimasa.
You knew because I stammered, right? It is so hard to remember the words.
Your friend Lord Sadatame sent me. I need a way into Yamazaki Castle to confront Sadaoki.
It is past time Sadatame brought that corrupt little sycophant to here. But what you ask is dangerous, and I have no reason to trust you.
What must I do?
There are rogue samurai harassing people near Kyoto, though they have no right to call themselves samurai. I know of a samurai who likes to pick on one of the merchants there. Talk to him. He may know the rest of them as well.
I will deal with them. Then we will talk.
Alright. New quest, Twisted Tree. Gotta assassinate the Twisted Tree. Oh, he's one of the... Oh, no, the Twisted Tree is just a faction. Led by a cruel patriarch, the Takahashi clan act out their twisted code as they terrorize Kyoto and its citizens. Oh, wow. Go to the quest giver. Issei Sadaoki is not the quest giver. Ujimasa is. Okay, well, I assume collection of crests. I doubt that is the quest. Um So we've got to assassinate the Twisted Tree. Let's see who we found so far. Takahashi Inosichi, level 12. Ooh, that looks cool. The thing for Yasuke. Patriarch Takahashi Inosichi's life changed when a virtuous woman lifted him out of his pain. When she passed away, his heart was permanently hardened. He is in southern Kyoto, Yamashiro. Then you've got Takahashi Taro. Paranoid and unpredictable, Taro grew up in the shadow of his father's harsh discipline and believes he will step into his rightful destiny as head of the clan. Quest. Talk to the merchant. This merchant is in need of assistance against corrupt samurai. Stands near an umbrella cart west of Nijo Palace. Honoji Temple. Toji Temple. Nanban Temple. Tenryuji Temple. So I guess we're probably going to have to go up towards this sync point to figure out where that is, since we're here in southern Kyoto. And the fact that there's a South Kyoto one makes me think that we're ready to find a North Kyoto one. Or there'll be a North Kyoto one as well, which we can buy. Hopefully. Oh, I can refill my supplies. Wait, I can upgrade her rank? Oh, I can upgrade her. Or I can train her. It'll cost me more than I need for a Kokoriga, but that's fine. Train. Joining the fight, Yaya will knock down an enemy. Rank up to Initiate. Yeah, I need Dojo level 3 for inner strength. That combined with a ration puts me on a good position at the moment. Let's mark that location as where to go. We can worry about crests later. Which I'm sure we could probably find around Kyoto.
Here died the great fool of Owari, a victim of his own ambition.
Was he a victim of his own ambition? I don't think he was. Level up to level 13 with that collection. Base stats increased, which doesn't matter. The only thing that really matters is the mastery point, because everyone levels up with you. So the only reason why you would level up is to get new skills. Ooh, grab assassinate. That's very useful seeming. Okay, I'm actually going to grab that because that's useful. And assassination 1, damage 1. Even the ground assassinate would probably also be pretty useful. Damage at night would be very, very, very useful, but no point grabbing it. Depot! Alright, while aiming, remain still for a short time to zoom in further and further increase damage. Increase armor damage. Definitely. And then Armor Buster will be what we go for next as Yosuke. Alright, let's read the Honoji Temple Codex page. Honoji. Honoji is a temple in Kyoto, associated with the Lotus School, Hokkei School, which claimed to follow Nichiren Buddhist teachings. Built in the 15th century, it received support from the Ashikaga shoguns, and then in the early 16th century became one of the main strongholds of the city's bourgeoisie, the Machisu. The Machisu assumed power in 1532 in the name of the Lotus School. In 1536, the warrior monks of Mount Hei retaliated. The temple was burned while the followers of the Lotus sect were expelled. In the mid-16th century, the temple was rebuilt. Famously, Nobunaga was known to stay at the temple when he was in Kyoto, and it was where he was forced to commit suicide in 1582. On the second day of the 6th month, which in the Gregorian calendar is June 21st, Nobunaga's vassal Akechi Mitsuhide betrayed him. Akechi surrounded the temple and set it on fire. The attack was sudden, and Nobunaga took his own life in the burning temple. His heir Nobutada also had to commit suicide at Nijo Palace. Hideyoshi returned from the western provinces, where he was fighting Mori Terumoto, and made peace urgently. A few days later, while leading his troops, Hideyoshi clashed with Mitsuhide at the Battle of Yamazaki. Mitsuhide was defeated and committed seppuku. I think it was committed seppuku. He may have been killed shortly after. The victorious Hideyoshi managed to sideline Nobunaga's other sons and seized power, which he held until his death in 1598. The reasons for Mitsuhide's treachery are unclear. Nobunaga's armies were busy warring, and Mitsuhide certainly had a free hand in Kyoto, but in the days following the Honnoji incident, no significant lord joined his cause, and under these conditions, his final defeat was inevitable. The reason why no significant lord joined him was because they all wanted his position. But yeah, I still think that Nobunaga in the game should have had a bigger nose. His nose was too small. Since all of the images of him always seem to have him with a fairly large-sized honker. Oh, someone to talk to? Nope, something to loot. Loot, 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 loot. Give me all the loot. Pirate's mask, uncommon helmet. Okay. Well, I can always sell that if I need to. Quite the beautiful area that was burned down. Can't deny that. Can't pray here.
Asleep? I am not sure.
Oh, didn't we come here before? To look or to help out Akechi to get the gear for the merchant? Martial arts combat culture. We did. We came here before. Okay. In medieval Japan, most of those who trained for war were samurai. Samurai most often fought on horseback, and their training focused on horsemanship and mounted archery. Yabusame. Hunting was considered both a moment of distraction and learning for younger warriors. For archery, they trained on fixed or moving targets, most often dogs, which they shot at with blunt arrows. That is brutal. Samurai also trained in swordsmanship or naginata, pole weapons on dummies. From the 14th century, auxiliary infantry troops, nobushi, nobuseri, ashigaru, were increasingly called upon during wars to unhorse mounted warriors. These men were armed with pole weapons to cut the legs of horses, set ambushes where slings were sometimes used, or threw stones from a height. From the second half of the 16th century, these troops were better supervised and trained to maneuver together, were especially equipped with firearms, mainly arquebuses, forming musketeer corps. At least initially. Then, as Japanese firearm production began, it became temples. Yet, as these soldiers were commoners, little information is available about their training methods. In the 17th century was the return of peace. These combat techniques, buge bujutsu, were rationalized around what we now call koryu bujutsu, old-style martial arts of the Edo period. These techniques, practiced by samurai and police officers, mainly included jujitsu, which later inspired judo and aikido, bojutsu, staff fighting, and kenjutsu, sword fighting. Modern kendo and iaido, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, are also inspired by these old techniques. Finally, taijutsu, rediscovered and codified in the 17th century, is a hand-to-hand combat technique based on blocks and throws. Ninjutsu, the technique of shinobi, was originally not a martial art per se, but rather a set of infiltration techniques into the enemy's ranks, more related to espionage than combat. Horse race at Kamo Shrine from the 17th century. Cool. Alright, let's keep moving. Castle. Castles have Samurai Daisho, where once defeated allow you to access the legendary chest, or who, once defeated, allow you to access the legendary chest stuffed with gear. Would have been nice to have gotten that info earlier, but I doubt there's a Daisho in there. Here we go, Nijo Palace. With that discovery, that's probably where the Daisho are at. He's west, so he's probably somewhere around here. Could also head into northern Kyoto if we wanted to try to identify the Kokoriga, but I'd rather have 800 mon before I do such a thing. Because if you'll recall, this is the south Kyoto Kokoriga, so I assume up here will be a northern one, probably relatively close to T-Bows for Rikyu. R2 is a hint. There's a codex page over there. Oh, he's literally right here.
This is a woman's hand. She cared greatly for the youngest siblings.
Caregiver
They
letter.
must take after their mother.
Jiro, give this letter to your father, Takahashi Inosichi. When your wife passed away, her courage and love was passed down to Ichihime and Goro. Set them free from your grip in Kyoto, and let them find their destiny in a new town. Do not punish them for their innocence. Alright, let's talk with this merchant.
Excuse me, are you Yamanaki-he?
I am the Yamanaki-he, yes. Proud purveyor of Kyoto's finest umbrellas. All of our city's most fashionable have them. Have you come to purchase one?
Maybe later. Ujimasa, the monk from Kiyomizudera, told me you have rogue samurai you need help with.
Shh. One of them, Saburo, could be listening. I moved my cart from north of here because he kept knocking it over. I'm sure he's still there. Waving his sword around like he's the greatest samurai in town.
Saburo is
They
boasting.
say pride comes before a fall. I'll make sure he falls face first.
Well, he's just one part of the Takahashi clan. Rotten fruit from a twisted tree. The lot of them. They must all be yanked out by the root.
You want me to take out a whole family?
Yes. One once worthy of esteem. But when the mother died, Inoshichi drove his children even harder in their samurai training. Discipline without mercy is cruelty. His children were not allowed to grieve, and the pain festered.
They became cruel like him.
Take Shiro. He could crush your skull like a berry.
How can I find the Takahashi?
I would confront the family god. He's been loyal for decades. He's probably buying sake to drown his guilt.
Well, why don't we confront the family guard? On east of Honoji, he was seen near a sake crate cart. East of Honoji, he'll be here. Kind of want to head a little bit further north, though, towards the quest. In the hopes of finding that Kokariga, so I can eventually purchase it. Martial arts training going on. Chaos or order? Ooh, I want to do that next episode. Which it looks like we're almost at. Running out of time on this episode. It's much quieter here. And more serene. Hey, Poochie. I wonder if it's if these Poochies were introduced to, some of them at least were
I have to stay low.
introduced from the Mongol era. Then again, I don't think the Mongol invasions ever reached the mainland. Alright, let's head up to here. because discovery, the Imperial Palace. Ooh, was that what I was trying to break into? It's got high wealth for sure, but not worth it. So I guess high is the highest wealth that it can be. Kakariga discovered. Northern Kyoto Kakariga. That's what I've been after. Cost 800. We don't have much more than half that. Alright, next time we're going to go take a look at Chaos or Order, and then we will move on to identify stuff over here. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all have enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next one. Till